Today I want to help you fix your Facebook ads that are being rejected for the Facebook rule around social issues, elections, or politics. So I've noticed a lot of ads being rejected um, because of that rule, and I just wouldn't be surprised if everyone running an ad has at least one ad being rejected for that rule. So if that's you, keep watching because I have a lot of help in store for you. And of course, if you're wondering, maybe you already know, the reason that this is coming up, this rule is coming up, is because Facebook is really tightening security around what is on the platform. It's really trying to prevent fake news around COVID and also around politics, like US elections in November. So it's Facebook, it's not you, right? So I'm going to cover four things. First, I'm going to go over that rule from at a high level and what it means, because I actually found the language not to be clear. So I'm going to give you a high level, what are they really saying in that rule? And I'll link to it in the description. And then two, I'll give you an example of an ad that was incorrectly flagged, but it was the language that was setting off it being flagged. So you can see the language and have an example of what not to do. And then, but I did get it approved. And so three, I'm going to show you, say that you have an ad that was incorrectly flagged, right? So you're like, I'm getting flagged. This is a political world. This is not a political ad. That was what I had happening in that scenario. I can show you the fastest way to get that ad approved. Okay, so now suppose number four, I'm going to show you how to fix an ad that is a political ad. So, lo and behold, say you found out that, oh, this is, in Facebook's eyes, an ad around a social issue or politics. So then you have to go through a different approval process, and I will show you where to start that and talk a little bit about that. Okay, here we are in Facebook ad policy, and this is rule number 10, the one we're talking about, ads about social issues, elections, or politics. I will link to it in the description, as mentioned. So basically the policy is, I'll read this little gray part. Advertisers can run ads about social issues, elections, or politics. You can run those ads, provided the advertiser complies with all laws and authorization process required by Facebook. Where appropriate, Facebook may restrict issue, electoral, or political ads. So, and then it goes and talks about this. So what I found, originally I found this confusing because I kept getting ads rejected for air conditioners and air purifiers. And so what I had to do was go in here and look up, well, I found this helpful anyway, look up social issues, and that was linked there. I looked under my country and I saw that health was on this list. And then I knew that Facebook was looking at my ad and thinking that I was talking about COVID-19. Now, what I did was I talked to some other social media managers as well, and I will share some of the insights. But I guess long story short is, anything that can be interpreted as a political issue by a robot is what is going to set off your ad being flagged. So one, keep in mind that it's not a human reading this. Facebook has thousands of ads being reviewed, so it needs to use a robot, but robots aren't that sharp, and they're looking at your sentence structure, and they're misinterpreting what you're saying. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is, so you have to you almost have to look at your ads from the eyes of an editor and the way things are phrased. And, would a robot misinterpret this? That's one thing. And then two, just be aware of all the hot button issues in the last decade. So including global warming, COVID, politics, anything that has been somewhat politicized is something that is like a hot button issue, and that definitely includes COVID-19. And I talked to Facebook Help, and they wouldn't admit that it was COVID-19. So that's why I'm here to bring clarity around is just by consulting with other social media managers and looking at the way this is stated, I'm telling you, it's all about COVID-19. Plus, Facebook has said in the news, like, we're trying to avoid fake news on COVID-19. So, if you ask them directly, they will not connect the dots for you. So I'm here to help you connect the dots. Here's an example of language. Okay, so it's really probably the language setting it off. It could be the image if it somehow looks like it's a super close up, and it could look like a politician running like one or two people. So you're welcome to pause this and read it, but here's some of the language that a bot could misinterpret. In fact, I almost suggest like write your ad, let it rest for a day, and then come back and look at it really, I don't know, mechanically. So here, this says, if you're wondering about hot weather, okay, I said hot weather. Climate change, right? That's one thing. I also was saying, I was trying to make a point here because this company is in a rural area in the country. So I kept saying country, family, country. And because I said that, and then I even dared to say, help our country somewhere. Here it is. We just want to help our country neighbors out. We just want to help our country. So if you take that out of context, this looks like, wow, I'm running, I'm actually running for some political office. So I will tell you how I got this approved. But I know another one. So this is an air conditioner company, and they also do air purifiers. And another ad that got flagged is I started it off with, air quality has been a real issue lately. It's been an issue lately. So I did not start it off in the best way. Don't find other words. If you can, find other words. So this is an example of number 2, language that you just want to be careful about your language. I pretty much beat that horse. So I'll let you think about that. Okay, so here's an ad that was rejected according to that Facebook rule for political or social ads, and it wasn't a political ad. It's an ad about air conditioners. There's no way this is a political ad. So I knew it was being rejected for that rule because I got this pop-up above the ad at the ad level. This specific pop-up here is saying create a disclaimer because I already went through the review process. Thus the request review button is gray because I already requested a review once. But that is how you get this approved. You go and you punch request review, and then most likely a bot is going to review it again. So to be honest, you can punch that if you have time to wait a day or two, but I found that the bot just agrees with what the other bot said earlier. Okay, so I don't know your situation. Maybe you can wait a day or two. So if you can, then you push the request review button, and it just will go ahead and automatically review it again. If you want to get it reviewed even faster, you can go to the bottom left of your screen, Help Center, and then if it's usually between 8 to 5 or a reasonable time on the weekend, there will be a pop-up box for chat, contact support team, and then you can fill out your information there and talk to someone live. So you fill that out, and then it automatically will, and then you hit submit, and it will start a conversation in Messenger. Okay, so once you provide your information and hit submit, you will be sent to Messenger by Facebook, and then Facebook Help will talk to your personal profile. And this is a good way to go. I found the conversation tends to go well in chat. If it goes on a while, they will call you up. But also, this is a good way to go for, like I said, a non-political ad, because this is a way to get a human to review your ad. And if a human reviews your ad, then you don't have to change your language, most likely, because the human can read it and know it's not political. So this can be the fastest way to fix a non-political ad to get human eyes on it, right? So next we'll go over how to fix an ad that is actually a political ad, and even a human looking at it is going to say you need to change your language. So let's go see how we would do that. How would we get an ad approved that is a political ad? Okay, so here's an ad that was rejected for that rule, and we discovered this is actually a social issue we're talking about because we started talking. The client wanted to do more around COVID-19 news that was relevant for them. Nowhere in the rule does it say COVID-19, even though COVID-19 is plastered all over Facebook. Anytime you go on there, wants to help you with COVID-19. It would not say it in the rules. So once we put together that, this is COVID-19 based, the only way that we're going to be able to run this is to go through their identity confirmation process. So if you figure out it's a social issue, indeed, then punch this button and go through the process. Now, I will warn you that it's a bit invasive. So they are going to confirm it's you. They are going to go to great extent to confirm it's you. I entered my home address and they literally mailed me a code, and I had to come back and enter the code into Facebook. So it's me. It's not some fake account. They know my name. They know my address. I entered a code. They're making sure I'm not a bad actor. They know, they know it's me. So when I push this button, you're going to see that I already did half the process, because half the process is getting the ad person, the person in the ad role, to confirm their identity. But then the second part is getting the page administrator to confirm their information. And that includes submitting your your tax ID or EIN business number to Facebook. So you have to be willing to do that. And actually, my client wasn't. They were like, oh, this is just getting too invasive. So I have the ability as an ads manager to run ads for my clients, but then it's up to my client if they are also going to go through that, or whoever the page admin is, if they are going to go through that process to confirm their business. And not everybody wants to do that. So, but it depends on how much you want to run a social issue. Like maybe you just really want to run COVID-19 news, or you something else, then this is the process that you go through. That's a wrap. That's how you fix a rejected Facebook ad for that rule: social issues, elections, or political ads. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Have a great day.